What's up, guys? Ricky with the Flip Lab, and tonight we're going to go over the only 4 questions that you need to be asking sellers when you're qualifying them on the phones. These 4 questions will literally make it so easy for you when you set an appointment that you're going there to buy houses and not make offers.
Yeah, truest product of my environment. Bounce back something like Jordan out of retirement. Everything gravy and all according to plan. Drop the ball, made room to fit the word in my hands. Pride aside, I came too far to go back. What I'm after can't be bought with a duffel of cash. Took a lot of strength to lift what I got in my bag. Wouldn't take a thing at all to make up what I lack. Not to say I got it all, but I do got it like that. Built an empire.
All right, guys, so now it's time to go over the 4 questions that you need to be asking every single seller when you get on the phone with them. So for question number 1, this is how you're going to start off every single conversation with the seller, and it goes something like this. Mr. Seller, it seems like it's a great property. Why are you looking to sell?
Yeah, you're right. You know, the house is fantastic. You know, it's got the original wood floors and panels. It's just beautiful in there, you know. So, I don't need to sell, but you call me. You know, you said you might have an offer. The market's hot, New Jersey. Everyone's trying to buy, you know. So, if you got a price, maybe we can make a deal work.
Shoot, y'all caught me at a good time. I'll tell you a little story. A few weeks back, God rest her soul, my Aunt Sally, she passed away, and she left me this property out in New Jersey. Now, I know nothing about that state. I ain't never been to that state. I hear they have horrible people out there. But anyways, she was a mess. She didn't take very good care of the home, so now I'm stuck with the thing. And y'all property tax and insurance and all these things out there are just ridiculous. So I got to get this property sold as soon as I can.
Now, the reason why we're asking that question, guys, is because we're trying to figure out their motivation, their why. Why are they looking to sell? What's the situation with the house? And the reason why we're telling them it's a great property at the beginning of that, before we ask them that question, is because when you present something that it's a nice asset, wow, this is a really nice piece of land, this is a good house, why on earth would you ever want to sell such a beautiful house? I don't care if the house is a piece of shit. Always tell them that it's a good property, because this will allow them to open up to you about the situation. Remember, most people don't want to just get on the phone with a stranger and tell them, oh, like my mom just died, or I'm going through a divorce, or bad shit in my life is happening. So you have to try to pry those answers out of them and really figure out the situation. So remember, during this question, a lot of people are going to kind of be like, what do you mean? Why do I want to sell this or that? Try to dig into that. Ask them in different ways until they open up about the situation with the house. This question is critical. Mr. Seller, have you thought about maybe putting the property on the market with the realtor? That's usually how you're going to get the most money for it.
Oh yeah, I already got a realtor. Yeah, my cousin Vinny, he's already gonna list the property and take the photos and do the whole shebang. But if you call me and you might want to buy the house, you know, it is what it is. We might have to cut him out and just me and you. But what's your offer?
Son, I'm an old school Texas type of guy. I'm not looking to deal with no fancy realtors with their Mercedes and their fancy photos and all these things. I'm just looking to deal with a couple guys that are looking to buy the property. We could do a handshake type of a deal. That's what I'm looking for, son.
Now, the reason why we're trying to ask them, why don't they list it on the market with a realtor? The average person thinks about selling their home. They think about calling a realtor up and listing it on the market. So we're trying to figure out, why don't these people want to do that? And usually they don't want to do it because they're looking for convenience. They're looking for quickness. They're not looking for a bunch of people to walk through the home. They're not looking to wait 3 to 6 months to really sell the property by listing it, taking photos, having all these people walk through. But we want to build trust of telling them that they do have other options. We're not just here to buy your property for pennies on the dollar.
I ain't selling my house for no pennies.
If you want to get more money, you should list it this way, and that's going to build the trust that you want with these sellers. Question number 3. Now we're getting into timeline. It's really simple. It goes something like this. So if we agree on price and terms, how soon can you sell?
You know, I lived in the house for 37 years, but for the right price, shit, I'll be out tomorrow. I'll pack the suitcase and we done.
Shoot, I would have had that property sold a week ago, I swear. But y'all are actually the first people that ever called me about that house. So you got me at a good time, and my ears are perked. I'm ready to make the deal work.
So we're trying to figure out if price works, if terms work, If you are happy with how much you're going to sell it for, you're happy with the closing date, are you ready to sign an agreement and get this in writing and get your house sold to us? A lot of people, guys, their timeline to sell their home could be 3 to 6 to 12 months, even more than a year. You know, if they've been living in the house for 35 years and they're living there and they still haven't figured out where they're moving to, you have to dig into that. Because if we're trying to buy the house in 30 to 45 days and they still haven't figured out where they're moving to, they're talking about, oh, I want to retire in Florida. Okay, have you found a house in Florida yet? Have you actually put a down payment on? Are you talking to realtors? If the house is vacant, that usually means the timeline will be quicker, because if the house is empty, that's never a good position. That's automatically distress because they're probably paying property tax on it. They don't want people squatting in the house. No one's taking care of it. That all costs money. So timeline is extremely important and could be a deal killer. Focus in on if everything else lines up and you're happy with our terms, our price, everything else, are you ready to sign? Because I'm only going to come see the house if we're coming to buy the property. I'm not coming to make you an offer. And then the last question, guys, is the first question that most sellers want to get out of you, which is talking about price. You always want to defer the price conversation as far along in the conversation as possible and try to build up why you would be a good buyer for them, why they have a situation where they need you. So when they're pushing you every single question, what's your offer? What's your offer? Eventually you want to pry information out of them, and then you want to ask them this question. And if we're buying the property for cash, as is condition, you don't have to pay any fees, closing costs, no commissions. How much money do you need to get for the house?
I mean, come on, you're the expert. I mean, you tell me. I don't know what the property's worth. You know, you call me, you're the expert. You run all the numbers and things. You know, what can you offer for the property? I want to get as most as possible. It's a very nice home.
Shoot, son, I don't know what that house is worth, but I'll tell you what, fair is fair, and I'm not a greedy person. If I could sell the house and I could get some Bud Lights and maybe a couple Cowboys tickets to take the lady to a game, let's go Cowboys, that's all I'm really looking for.
So you're just trying to get them to their bottom dollar. They own the home. They probably have looked into values. Most sellers will say, I have no idea what the home's worth. That's a load of bullshit. Almost every seller that you talk to will have some type of a number or range in mind, and they never want to give that to you because most people know if you're the first person giving a number in negotiations, you're probably on the losing hand of that.
Okay, so you call me, you didn't want to make an offer, you want to make an offer, you don't want to make an offer, forget about it.
What I see a lot of new investors do is they're just offers. And then what do those sellers do? They just shop around that offer to every other investor. I can't tell you how many times we bought houses where they already had 3 or 4 offers, but then we come in after we figured out in the previous question their timeline, we come in right when they're actually ready to make a decision, and now they already have multiple offers. We know kind of where we need to be at and what we need to do to buy the house. Are they ready to actually sell the house? Do they have a good reason of why they want to sell the house? And what about, do they want for the house? What are they looking for? If you figure all those things out, guys, by the time you get to the property, you're going to have such a good chance of actually contracting that house and getting deals done. There's nothing more frustrating than making a bunch of offers and talking to a bunch of sellers and then not getting deals. So by qualifying good and trying to qualify people out, this is going to make you guys better closers and help you buy more houses.
This guy said as is. As is.